What's up guys? Today I'm going to show you how to guarantee craft a perfect pair of 50% movement speed boots for around half the current market price. It currently costs around 20 div to get a pair of boots like these, and you can craft them for around 10 to 12 div. This is all the materials that you're going to need right here, and the price for said materials are going to be here. They are subject to change as the market is a ever-changing frenzy, so please do keep that in mind. So with that, let's go ahead and get our hands on your boots to start with. So we are going to buy a pair of white-based boots, and we are looking for pure evasion boots as we are wanting to guarantee deflection and defense. So we'll start off by going for a pair of boots, of course. Minimum item level, you can do as low as 75, try to get closer to 80 if you can for the better rolls. Make them normal. We want 2 rune sockets by default, at least evasion, no armor, no ES. We don't want them to be corrupted, and we want to see ones that are going for exalts right now. So with that, we'll hit search, and here are our boots. We're going to scoop up this pair of boots right here for 30 exalt. Let's go buy them now.
It's yours.
Okay, got our boots, so let's go back to the hideout and continue the craft. So here is our pair of exceptional double socket white boots that we paid 30x for. We are going to make them rare, but in the most fast way possible, and for good reason. So you're going to use a Orb of Transmutation, and you're going to use a Regal Orb. They are now rare and only have 2 lines on them. This is because we are annulling them down to 1 line. If you had to, make this with a alchemy or something, it would cost extra annuls. So this just rolls it down to 1 line. And the reason why we want this down to 1 line is because we're going to Chaos Orb spam it until we get T1% increased evasion rating. This is the only big gamble part of it. It's going to vary on how many it takes to get that T1 evasion rating. If you're comfortable with settling for tier 3 or tier 2 evasion, that's fine. It just needs to be percent increased. So let's go ahead and start the Chaos Orb slam. All right, so it took around, what does that look like right there? Maybe, I don't know, 30 to 40 chaos, but we did get our T1% increased evasion rating, so we are good to move forward. The next few steps are all guaranteed up until the Desecration, so we can go ahead and proceed. So with our boots now having T1% evasion rating, we are guaranteed from this point out to have 100% increased effect from sockets, 30% movement speed, T1 flat evasion, and T1 deflection rating, guaranteed. We're going to do this by adding suffix modifiers to these pair of boots because we are going to rip off those suffixes by using these new omens right here. So you'll start with a omen of dextral exaltation, and you're going to slam a regular exalted orb on it. It does not matter. So we are left with a random suffix, does not matter what we get here. With that, we are going to turn on the Omen of Dextral Crystallization, as this is going to remove a suffix whenever we use a perfect or corrupted essence. This means it'll rip off the lightning res in my case, guaranteed, and leave the evasion alone. We are going to start with the Essence of Hysteria. Make sure this is the first one you use. Turn this on, take your Essence of Hysteria, and slam it for guaranteed 30% movement speed. The reason we wanted to use this one first is because this is movement speed is a prefix. This next step adds a suffix. If we had added this, we would have had a 50-50 from taking it off with the next step. So we are going to now repeat that same process. Omen of Dextral Exaltation to give us a suffix. A regular Exalted Orb gives you a random suffix. You turn on the Omen of Dextral Crystallization again to remove a suffix. And we're going to use the Essence of Horror. This is the big expensive part of this. It's going to give you 100% increased effective sockets and rip off that lightning res in my case. So boom, you have 30% move speed, T1 evasion rating, and 100% increased effective socket of items. This next step is also guaranteed double T1 as long as your item level is high enough. We're going to manipulate the tag system. Now the tag system is something that you can see on Path of Exile. I will provide the link to this in the description. What we're doing is we're using the Omen of Homogenizing Exaltation to guarantee that our next Exalted Orb will give a modifier of the same type. This means that it will have a modifier of at least the same tag. What I mean by tag is we have increased evasion rating, which has the defense tag. You have movement speed, which is the speed tag, and you have effective socketed items, which does not have a tag at all. Meaning our next Exalted Slam with this turned on will give us a speed or defense modifier. Now, luckily for us, the only speed modifier just happens to be movement speed, so we were going to be guaranteed a defense modifier. The only defense modifiers left over, since we have percent increased, is flat evasion rating and flat deflection rating. So what this means is our next slam by using this omen is going to give one of those. We're going to get 2 perfect exalts in one slam thanks to the omen of greater exaltation. It will guarantee that your next exalt slam will give 2 modifiers rather than 1. This is going to guarantee that we will not only get number 2 evasion rating, but we're also guaranteed deflect. So that means we're not going to get any junk modifiers. We're guaranteed T1 deflect and number 2 evasion rating. Funnily enough, number 2 or percent increased evasion rating and stun threshold does not have a tag. Thankfully, that means we cannot roll this. So with that explanation out of the way, you're going to turn on your Omen of Homogenizing Exaltation, turn on your Omen of Greater Exaltation, and slam it with a perfect Exalt to guarantee T1s. Boom, we are left over with T1 number 2 evasion rating and T1 deflection rating. So you have all T1s except for that movement speed. This is the gamble step. This is the Desecration. Now, Desecration, thankfully, you can roll as many times as you want thanks to the Omen of Light. But hopefully we hit a res or attribute or whatever we want on our first try. So you can use a Preserved Rib if you're not really all that worried about trying to get the highest level modifier, but I'm going to use a Ancient Rib to try to get the highest level res possible. So now that my item is desecrated, I can turn on the Omen of Abyssal Echoes, and let's go ahead and go to the well. All right, so we're at the well. So we're going to make sure our Omen of Abyssal Echoes is turned on to allow us to reroll. We're going to drop the boots in, and we are going to hit reveal. Fingers crossed, I see some form of resistances. All right, so I have T4 lightning res, T3 cold res, and mono regen. I think I'm going to play it safe and just go ahead and go with the cold res, as if I re-roll, there's a good chance that I just may not get a res at all, and I'll have to Omen of Light, which will cost me a lot more divs. So I'm going to go ahead and just take that right there. And boom, you are left with a pair of boots that have movement speed, flat evasion, percent evasion, deflection, effective socketed items, and whatever roll you want from Desecration. So that is how you're going to effectively craft your boots. But I have a little bonus segment this time. I went ahead and decided that we are going to Vaal some of these in hopes that we see that one of these becomes triple socket boots. Now, only do this if you have money to play for or you are a degenerate gambler. But we're going to slam these with the Omen of Corruption and the Vaal Orb to hopefully see at least one triple socket pair of boots. Of course, make sure your boots are all qualityed and socketed before you proceed, and you're good to roll. If you guys enjoy this type of video, be sure to sub, as I'm gambling a lot of divs right here. So let's go, boys. Fingers crossed. First one is not a triple. Second one is not a triple. Third one's not a triple. Oh, and fourth one is not a triple. Let's see if we got our boots bricked. All right, so this one they took off. Oh, they completely scrambled this one. This pair of boots is gone. This pair of boots, they ripped off the flat evasion, so that's also a rip. Okay, these boots got percent to maximum lightning res, which is fine. This is salvageable. And this boot's got got reduced attribute requirements, which is also salvageable, but no big hits. We kind of lost out on there, so that's some financial losses right there. Don't fall down the degenerate gambling pipeline. Stay true. Don't Vaal your boots whenever you do this unless you're rich. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this crafting video. I plan on doing more pieces here soon. You should be seeing body armors, rings, helmets, etc. here soon. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this format, if you enjoyed this version of this crafting guide. Let me know if I made any mistakes or if you have any suggestions. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. You take care.